I've had a lot of questions about how I conduct EVP sessions, and I wanted to give you sort of a quick overview, some tips and tricks that have worked for me over the years. First thing you need is a digital recorder. Doesn't really matter what brand or model. There are some that are super expensive, and there are some that are budget priced. This particular one is probably about 50 bucks. It's not like a super expensive one, but it works just as well as the $3,000 ones. The first thing you want to do is really get yourself in the proper mindset. You want to make sure that you are open to having some type of a contact with the spirit. That means, obviously, you need to be in the right state of mind. So no drinking, no drugs. Try to have an open mind about the experience, and just be willing to accept if something happens or doesn't happen. The next thing that I would say would be a tip would be to be respectful throughout the entire questioning. While you're asking questions, be sure that you're very respectful to the spirit. I like to sort of think of it as I'm speaking one-on-one to another person. Really don't treat the spirits any differently than you would a human being. You probably wouldn't say mean, nasty things to a person's face, so don't do that to a spirit. Um, the next thing that I would say to keep in mind is be sure when you're asking questions to leave space between those questions for the spirit to answer. Oftentimes it takes a number of seconds for the spirit potentially to gather enough energy to actually be able to respond. And then the last little tip that I would have would be don't get frustrated. I've been to hundreds of locations and I've tried EVPs. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you see I'm pretty successful at it. But I can assure you that that doesn't happen every single time. So if you don't get something, don't be frustrated. Try it again. Maybe change your questioning. Change your thought process around it, and really try to have fun with it. But at the same time, keep in mind that you are attempting to communicate with a human being that has passed over. Why don't we do a quick sort of test, little example, and see. So turn your recorder on. You'll want to hit the record button and then start asking questions. I like to just ask some generic questions. Is there anyone here that would like to speak with me? What is your name? Do you know what year it is? Why are you attached to this location? You know, Sort of just basic questions that you might ask a person in real life. So let's actually try it while I'm down here in the morgue at Dr. Baker's cancer hospital. This should be really interesting to see what spirits we potentially contact. Will it be Norman Baker? Will it be some of the patients from the Baker Cancer Hospital? Or will it be some of the girls potentially from when this was the girls' conservatory? I don't know, but let's try it. Hi, my name is Larry. I'm here as a friend. I'd like to speak with you. Is there anything that you would like to say? Can you tell me what your name is? What year is it? Why are you here? Do you know how you passed? All right, so that's about 45 seconds. Usually I like to do between 30 seconds and a minute. Any longer than that, and it becomes really tedious to have to review that audio. Because remember, if you record a 10-minute audio clip, you then have 10 minutes of audio that you have to review. And I would highly recommend when you're doing the review of your audio that you use a decent set of closed headset or headphones or earbuds if you have that. It is much easier to discern what's being said than simply trying to listen on a tiny 2-inch speaker that's in the device. But let's play this back. This was about 45 seconds. Let's play this back and see if we actually were successful in making contact with someone or someone's here at the hospital.
your name is. What year is it? Why are you here? Do you know how you passed?
So that was an example of a not so great EVP session. There were a couple of things that I could hear in there that were super low amplitude and volume. Not sure if that was just background ambient noise or if that potentially was spirit contact, but a couple of things not really great. So when you're reviewing EVP, again, don't get frustrated. While you're listening, try to be as open as you can, and if you have any doubt about what you're hearing, ask somebody else to listen. Have them put on the set of headphones and listen. You want to certainly be open to whatever it is that's being communicated. Let's do another one. We'll try it again. We'll see if we get anything this time. Norman Baker, are you here with me now? Mr. Baker, I'm in the parts room attached to the morgue at the Crescent Hotel. Used to be the Baker Cancer Hospital. And behind me are the bottles that you had displayed in the lobby. Is there anything that you would like to say to me? Mr. Baker, are you here in this room with me now? Mr. Baker, where are you now? Okay, that's exactly 45 seconds. Let's play this one back and see if we were able to make contact with Mr. Baker.
Norman Baker, are you here with me now? Mr. Baker, I'm in the parts room attached to the morgue at the Crescent Hotel. Used to be the Baker Cancer Hospital. And behind me are the bottles that you had displayed in the lobby. Is there anything that you would like to say to me? Mr. Baker, are you here in this room with me now? Mr. Baker, where are you now?
Okay, so that time I think we actually got something. That would be what would be described as probably a Class C EVP, which is probably the worst, almost unintelligible. Um, there are there's a classification that's been created for EVPs. There's Class A, which is the most easily understood, the most intelligible. If you ask three different people what they hear, all three different people will agree unanimously as to what's being said. There's Class B, which is less clear. You might ask three different people and maybe two people agree as to what's being said. Not quite as clear as Class A. And then you have Class C, which I also refer to as Class Crap, which is probably the worst type of EVP in that it is completely unintelligible. You can tell there's something there. There's certainly some volume and amplitude to some type of a vocal response, but you can't really make out what's actually being said. So I think this was probably a C, maybe B, depends. I'll have to download this to my computer and review it using some headphones, but there was definitely some interesting responses there. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you like this type of content, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I try to post new videos every week. Thank you for watching.